The countdown is on as Nigeria decides who becomes its next president. The 2023 elections is upon us, and the stage is set. At Spectrum TV, we have just one job: to keep you professionally and effectively informed round the clock as Nigeria decides. Spectrum TV Nigeria Decides Studio opens Friday, 24th February, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and on the D-Day, Saturday, 25th February, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. as well as on Sunday, 26th February, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Join the conversation on our phone lines on 0704 541 7707 090 222 31011 and 0813 775 8639, as well as on all our social media platforms. Spectrum TV Nigeria Decides Studio. As always, join the conversation and watch us broaden your horizon.
Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 9. My name is Xavier Robert, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari arrives Katsina ahead of Saturday's presidential elections. Finland authorities arrest pro-Biafran agitator Simon Ekpa. Plus, President Biden nominates ex-MasterCard CEO to lead World Bank. Details of these stories and more in a moment. First in the news tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari has arrived Katsina State, from where he would proceed to Daura, his hometown, to participate in Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections. Buhari's aircraft landed at the Umaru Musa Yar'Adua Airport, Katsina, at exactly 4:40 p.m. He is expected to cast his vote for his preferred candidate in Daura later on Saturday. In another development, President Buhari has called on candidates of political parties to accept the outcome of the 2023 general elections. The president asked the respective candidates to respect the choices of the electorates, reminding the political class and their supporters that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) is the agency empowered by law to announce the results. Buhari also assured Nigerians that his administration will continue to do the utmost best to deliver a free and fair election. According to him, his administration has worked hard to ensure a legacy of free, fair, credible, safe, and peaceful elections.
I urge the candidates contesting these elections at all levels to respect the voice, the choice of voters, and accept the results of the elections as announced by INEC, the agency empowered by law to do so. Any aggrieved candidate should resort to the established judicial processes.
Meanwhile, the presidential candidates of 18 political parties have signed a pact towards a peaceful election this Saturday. All the candidates converged on the International Conference Center, Abuja, for the landmark occasion. Among the presidential candidates present were Bola Tinubu of APC, Peter Obi of Labour Party, Atiku Abubakar of PDP, Rabiu Kwankwaso of NNPP, and Dan Nwanyanwu of ZLP. Some of the Peace Committee members present included General Abdul Salami Abubakar, Bishop Matthew Kuka, and Sultan of Sokoto Al-Haji Saad Abubakar III. In a related development, U.S. President Joe Biden has called for peaceful and credible 2023 general elections in Nigeria, saying the citizens deserve a chance to do so. Biden made a call on his official handle today, calling on all candidates to respect the election results and back a peaceful transition. Biden's message re-echoed the stance of diplomatic missions, which released a joint statement earlier. Now, still on electoral matters, the chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC Mahmood Yakubu, has said that Commission's state officers are already accessing the cash made available by the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) for election purposes. Yakubu stated this during a meeting with leaders of foreign observation missions. The INEC chairman recalled that the Commission had presented its cash requirement for prosecuting the forthcoming elections to the CBN, as requested by the Apex Bank. He said despite the challenges bedeviling the country as it prepares for election, the Commission had played its part in ensuring smooth elections. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has cleared the air on the issue of preloaded BVAS flying about on social media. The Bimodal Voter Accreditation System (BVAS) is an electronic device designed to read permanent voter cards (PVCs) and authenticate voters. It requires the voters' fingerprints, which would help prove that they are eligible to carry out the exercise. Reports have been making the rounds on social media about the existence of preloaded BVAS, which is intended to rig the presidential and other elections. But addressing reporters today ahead of Saturday's elections, the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, said he does not know about the existence of such a device. In a related development, the Independent National Electoral Commission has said that a total of 87 million permanent voter cards have been collected across the country. INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu announced the development today during a media briefing at the National Collation Center, Abuja. Although the number increased after the Commission extended the deadline from January 29 to February 5. Still in politics, ahead of the forthcoming presidential election, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has pledged to pursue 40% affirmative action for women in political appointments. Obi also said he would encourage the same for women in the corporate sector. The former Anambra State Governor, who disclosed this in a post via his verified Twitter handle today, also said he would strive to ensure that Nigerian youths are adequately represented in governance. To the judiciary now, where Court of Appeal Awka Division has overruled the senatorial candidacy of Uche Ekwunife, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) candidate, insisting that Senator Victor Ume is the validly nominated candidate of the Labour Party for the zone. Ekwunife had secured a judgment from the Federal High Court, sacking Ume as the candidate of the Labour Party. Ume had, however, approached the appeal court, where the court declared him winner. The court, in its judgment, which was delivered today, held that the suit, which supposedly disqualified Ume at the Federal High Court, Awka, was statute barred and lacked locus, and Justice Olubomi Oyewole, who read the judgment via Zoom, allowed the two appeals by the Labour Party and Senator Ume to stand. On the Naira redesign, the Attorney General of the Federation (AGF) and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami today said that President Muhammadu Buhari has not acted in breach on the case instituted at the Supreme Court by some state governors over the Naira swap deadline. The AGF said that as far as the rule of law is concerned, that there are many options available. This is as the federal government has said that the fate of state governors and other individuals being investigated for alleged treasonable utterances over the Naira redesign will be determined by the security agencies involved. The government also said that it was only few individuals that are promoting the interest of some persons that may have gotten their wealth illegally and looted public funds, which they intend to use to influence the electorate in the forthcoming elections. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), Abdul Rashid Bauer, has raised the alarm over alleged plans by politicians to buy votes in kind and cash ahead of Saturday's general elections. In an interview, the EFCC chairman, who confirmed that all of its officers had been deployed to monitor the polls across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, urged citizens to report vote buying, selling, and other evidence of financial malpractices. According to him, the agency is aware of the tactics used by vote buyers, and officials are prepared to handle any situation that may arise.
My name is Abdul Rashid Bauer, the Executive Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. I want to use this medium to urge all Nigerians to eschew all manner of electoral fraud, either through vote buying, vote selling, or fraudulent manipulations of electoral processes. I am fully persuaded that we can run our electioneering processes devoid of any form of criminality. Let us all be committed to a free, fair, and credible dealings in the exercise of our democratic rights. Thank you.
Elsewhere, the Economic Community of West Africa Observer Mission to Nigeria has implored the federal government to be proactive in addressing the fuel and cash scarcity that citizens of the country are facing. ECOWAS further noted that the insecurity crisis in the country should be resolved before the February 25 election. The mission, led by former President of Sierra Leone, Ernest Bai Koroma, gave the admonition during his visit to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, in Abuja. Responding, Onyema disclosed that the scarcity of naira and fuel has been a huge challenge for the government. He said that the government is currently taking measures to suppress the burden on Nigerians. In another development, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, has ordered a restriction of all forms of vehicular movements on roads, waterways, and other forms of transportation from 12 a.m. through 6 p.m. on Election Day. The Force Public Relations Officer Lumuyiwa Dejobi revealed in a statement that the movement restriction exclude those on essential services such as INEC officials, electoral observers, ambulances, responding to medical emergencies, firefighters, among others. According to him, the restriction is part of the measures put in place to ensure a safe, secure, and conducive environment for the conduct of elections. He added that it would ensure public order, management, safety of the electorate, as well as assist security agencies in effective policing, thereby preventing hoodlums and criminally minded elements from disrupting the electoral process. In the meantime, the Commissioner for Police, Federal Capital Territory Police Command, Sadiq Abubakar, has directed the deployment of 17,401 personnel for the presidential and National Assembly elections slated for Saturday in Abuja. Abubakar also met with the Joint Task Force of security agencies set up to provide security for the February 25 general elections in the FCT. The CP made the revelation during a press briefing at Eagle Square today, where he revealed that the command had divided the FCT into 9 sectors, each to be manned by an Assistant Commissioner of Police to monitor operations, adding that the division was to ensure adequate coverage of all parts of the territory, especially the suburbs and challenging terrains. Away from that, the Department of State Services today said it recovered weapons from a property along Airport Road, Nasarawa local government area of Kano. The service described as untrue allegations by a party in the state that the service was intimidating its members. Although the service, in a statement by its spokesperson Peter Afunaya, explained that the DSS's preparedness for the elections did not disclose the party. But checks by newsmen revealed that the Kano State chapter of the New Nigeria People's Party had accused the service of intimidating its members and carrying out raids on its campaign offices in the state. Afanaya said the operation was intelligence-driven, questioning how the weapons were found on the property. Meanwhile, Finland authorities today arrested a popular pro-Biafra separatist agitator Simon Ekpa. According to a Finland news outlet, the police escorted the separatist out of his apartment in Lahti. The platform claimed that they had gone to Ekpa's residence for an interview, but to their surprise, the Finland police answered when the HS team rang the separatist bell. The HS said the KRP prevented their team from entering Ekpa's apartment and said that the interview would be moved to the future. Back here, ahead of this Saturday's election, Governor Dumemaniel has called on the people of Akwa Ibom to reciprocate the goodwill of his administration and vote for PDP candidates. Speaking during the grand finale of the party's campaigns in Ona local government area, Governor Emmanuel, who is the chairman of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council, highlighted the giant strides of his administration to include the completion of various infrastructure and economic development plans, as well as abandoned projects. According to him, the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has the wherewithal to salvage Nigeria from the current economic downturn and restore her to the path of prosperity. Governor Emmanuel also acknowledged his respect for the power rotation initiated by the elders of Eket Senatorial District, on the basis of which PDP nominated its candidates for the National Assembly. Government House correspondent Jane O.R. reports that however, described the gubernatorial candidate of the party, Pastor Moino, as a humble man whose emergence is a call to service.
Our governorship candidate has spoken at different fora, different platforms. Whenever I step out, everybody moves close to me, will just whisper into my ear, "You have a man of capacity. You have a man of integrity. You have a man of courage. You have a man that is very brilliant. You have a man that is very intelligent. You have a man who has run the economy." My head will just say, "God, I thank you." God has chosen this one, a man that is humble, a man that loves the people, a man that will serve the people. I know that he's called to serve, and he will serve creditably. But today, I'm standing here to tell Akwa Ibom people I love you. And to tell Akwa Ibom people, as much as I love you, and I'm today handing over somebody who will even love you more, who will do a lot more than what I've done. Somebody who will go extra mile to make a lot of sacrifices for our people. And please, Paul Apostle said, if I bless you so much materially, is it so much for you? If I bless you so much spiritually, is it so much for you to bless me materially? Akwa Ibom today, by the special grace of the Almighty, and by also the order of my principal, Atiku Abubakar, I'm the chairman of the Presidential Campaign Council in Nigeria. With all the love I've shown for Akwa Ibom, today I'm assured, I've been assured by Akwa Ibom people that they will not let me down. Akwa Ibom will vote PDP en masse. Akwa Ibom will vote PDP en masse. Akwa Ibom, you must make me proud.
Still in Akwa Ibom, with barely 2 days to the 2023 general elections, Akwa Ibom State Governor Dumemaniel has assured eligible voters in the state of a peaceful conduct of the elections, stressing that their safety is guaranteed during the February 25 and March 11 general elections. Governor Emmanuel gave the assurances while speaking at his Awaiman 1 Ward Center, where he attended the People's Democratic Party PDP ward meeting held simultaneously across the 329 wards of the state. The governor observed that the current situation of things in the country was capable of engendering voter apathy, and clarified that the meeting was part of efforts to reawaken the people to their civic responsibility to go out and vote, hence reduce electoral apathy. He urged eligible voters in the state to turn out en masse to cast their votes and not be deterred by any fear of violence or develop apathy due to the prevailing Naira crunch. Meanwhile, the Akwa Ibom state government has announced the suspension of monthly statewide sanitation scheduled for Saturday, 25th February 2023 due to the presidential and National Assembly elections. In a release signed by the State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Comrade Ini Emamabong, the government urged all citizens to go out and vote on election day, adding that it is a citizen's right to vote. Still to come in the news. U.S. GDP growth revised lower in Q4. Stay with us.
As Nigeria prepares for the general elections holding from 25th February 2023, broadcasters are enjoined to make ethical reportage their watchword. All political programs shall observe the provisions of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code and other extant laws relating to broadcasting. All broadcasting stations must adhere to the principles of pluralism and ensure equitable airtime to all political parties or views. All political programs shall adhere to the general principles of legality, decency, and truthfulness. For the avoidance of doubt, the broadcast of a political campaign, jingle, announcement, or any other form of partisan party identification or symbol ends not later than 24 hours before polling day. Hate speech is prohibited. Be professional. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting. Announcer Management.
The countdown is on as Nigeria decides who becomes its next president. The 2023 elections is upon us and the stage is set. At Spectrum TV, we have just one job: to keep you professionally and effectively informed round the clock as Nigeria decides. Spectrum TV Nigeria Decides Studio opens Friday, 24th February, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and on the D-Day, Saturday, 25th February, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. as well as on Sunday, 26th February, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Join the conversation on our phone lines on 0704 541 7707 090 222 31011 and 0813 775 8639, as well as on all our social media platforms. Spectrum TV Nigeria Decides Studio. As always, join the conversation and watch us broaden your horizon.
One truth not often told is about the transformation that Africa has undergone in recent decades. Africa is shaping its own destiny and should be referred to as the African opportunity. On Spotlight Africa, we paint the African picture the African way, laced with truth, detail, and the color of the African continent. Join Uyai Anyekan every Tuesday and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Spotlight Africa, telling the African story.
Every day, we bring you up-to-date information on topical issues affecting the common Nigerian. From issues on politics,
hello Nigeria, I remain committed.
Security, education, health, lifestyle, and so much more. Join Janice Kobum and Uyai Anyeken every weekday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Rise and Shine Daily, exclusive on Spectrum Television.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by cross them. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Ibro.
He did not.
My lord, the matters council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in court examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Many thanks for staying tuned. Now in Africa, authorities in Madagascar have announced that the passage of the powerful tropical cyclone Freddy resulted in 4 deaths. According to the country's National Risk Management Office, the storm affected 16,600 people. The powerful gusts of wind reached around 130 kilometers per hour, contrary to last year's cyclone Batsirai. According to the UN's Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, Freddy is the first cyclone and the second tropical weather system to hit Madagascar during the current season. In a related development, Mozambican authorities are setting up shelters and preparing to evacuate people in high-risk areas as the southern Africa country braces for Cyclone Freddy. The powerful cyclone made landfall in neighboring Madagascar, where it killed 5 people and is expected to intensify before it hits south-central Mozambique on Friday. According to officials, the provinces of Sofala, Imhambe, Manica and Gaza provinces are the most at risk. Meanwhile, a red alert has been issued by the National Risk Management Agency that allows for response operations to be expedited. In a separate development, Zambia's Education Ministry has disowned pages of school books showing explicit sexual content that have been circulating on social media. According to a statement, the ministry says the pages are photoshopped and a misrepresentation of Zambian curriculum. It said one of the fake pages, which explains sex in lurid terms, originated from Tanzania and started circulating in the country in 2021. Meanwhile, the ministry has also renamed its comprehensive sexuality education curriculum to Life Skills and Health Education Framework, following complaints by teachers and religious leaders. Away from that, a court in Mozambique has sentenced 5 out of 8 people involved in the murder of a man with albinism in July last year to jail. The sentences ranged from 8 to 30 years. The judge said the convicts had committed crimes of aggravated homicide, possession of human bones, and criminal association. Reports say they must also pay $5,000 to the family of the victim. Meanwhile, 4 of the 5 suspects confessed to their involvement in the crime. However, they did not say who was behind it. So in Africa, South Africa's government says it will take on nearly 2/3 of the struggling state power company's total debt of $23 billion. This comes as breakdowns of Eskom's power plants, which led to unprecedented power cuts that are damaging the country's economy. The government said that the National Treasury decision should free up money for spending on maintenance, transmission and distribution. Recall that President Cyril Ramaphosa has declared a state of disaster over the energy crisis earlier this month, a move which allows the government to take emergency measures to intervene. In the meantime, South African health authorities today announced the country's first cholera death in more than a decade. Cholera is not endemic in South Africa, which has since early February recorded 5 cases. According to reports, the first 2 of those were imported from Malawi, which is buckling under its deadliest cholera outbreak in decades. The victim in South Africa is a 24-year-old man from Benoni, a district east of Johannesburg. Laboratory results later confirmed he had cholera. In the meantime, Kenya's Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheruiyot has told newsmen that Parliament will get to the bottom of the matter after a BBC expose showing widespread sexual abuse in tea plantations. The Africa Eye investigation found that more than 70 women had been abused by their managers at plantations operated for years by 2 British companies, Unilever and James Finlay & Co., which supply some of the world's most popular brands. Speaking to newsmen at his Parliament office, Cheruiyot said he was heartbroken at the levels of sexual abuse exposed in the tea farms run by companies which speak of fair business practices. Cheruiyot said Parliament would demand decisive action, including jail terms and sackings, as well as compensation for the victims. He regretted that the women were afraid to speak out and suggested setting up safe spaces for victims of sexual abuse. In another development now, Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni and Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky have held talks for the first time. A tweet by the Ukrainian president said he outlined the Ukrainian peace initiatives at the UN. He said they also discussed the potential for the development of bilateral relations. It came as the 193-member UN General Assembly met to debate a Ukraine-backed motion calling for a vote on a resolution for achieving peace in Ukraine. Meanwhile, the Assembly has voted on 3 resolutions opposing the Russian invasion in the past year, receiving between 140 and 143 votes in favor. On the foreign scene now, the Czech government for the first time has confirmed its military support to Ukraine. Prime Minister Peter Fiala says the country had provided 89 tanks 226 infantry fighting vehicles, 38 howitzers, 33 multi-launch rocket systems, 6 anti-aircraft systems, 4 helicopters, 1.5 million rounds of ammunition and 60,000 rockets to assist the Ukraine war. He said that a quarter of the equipment was provided from Army reserves and the rest from Czech arms contractors. Still on the foreign scene, Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin says an ammunition shipment is on its way to its fighters in Ukraine after he reportedly accused Russia's defense establishment earlier this week of creating major problems with supplies for the mercenary group. In a message and voice note published on his Telegram channel, Prigozhin said the shipment began at 6 a.m. local time today. Meanwhile, the U.S. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby estimates that the Wagner Group has suffered more than 30,000 casualties, including 9,000 deaths in the battle for the city of Bakhmut. He said about half of the 9,000 were killed since mid-December, and 90% of those killed in December were recruited from Russian prisons. Elsewhere, U.S. President Joe Biden today said that Washington is nominating former MasterCard chief executive Ajay Banga to lead the World Bank after its current chief David Malpass announced plans to step down early. The development lender has just started accepting candidate nominations in a process set to run until March 29, with the bank saying that women candidates would be strongly encouraged. The president of the World Bank is typically American, while the leader of the International Monetary Fund is customarily European. Banga, age 63, is Indian American and currently serving as vice chairman at equity firm General Atlantic. Recall that last week, current World Bank President Malpass, who was nominated to the post by Biden's predecessor Donald Trump in 2019, said he would step down nearly a year early, ending a tenure that was clouded by questions over his climate stance. Meanwhile, the European Commission today banned TikTok on official devices used by staff amid concerns over data protection as the EU seeks to bolster its cybersecurity. The TikTok, whose parent company ByteDance is Chinese, has faced increasing Western scrutiny in recent months over fears about how much access Beijing has to user data. The new ban also means European Commission staff cannot use the video sharing app on personal devices, including phones that have official EU communication apps installed. EU spokeswoman Sonia Gospodinova said the Corporate Management Board of the European Commission, the EU's executive arm, had made the decision for security reasons. And now it's time for the latest business and stock market stories. Here is Blyden. Okay.
Thank you and welcome to Business News. My name is Blyden Ukem. In the news, we begin with U.S. economy. The U.S. economy expanded an annualized 2.7% quarterly basis in the fourth quarter of 2022, slightly below 2.9% in the advanced estimate, mainly due to a downward revision for consumer spending. On the other hand, private inventories and business investment rose more than initially anticipated. Considering full 2022, the economy grew 2.1%. Looking at the energy market, WTI crude prices rallied almost 2% to trade above $75 per barrel today, looking set to snap 2 days of losses amid tight global supply concerns. Russia has announced plans to cut oil exports from its western ports by 25% in March, exceeding its output caps of 500,000 barrels per day. Market participants expect China's oil imports to hit a record high in 2023 amid rising demands for transportation fuel as new refineries come online. Still, fears of a demand-sapping global recession should limit any significant upside and its move according to reports. Foreign investors bought more Nigerian company stocks than they sold, marking the first net inflow of foreign funds into the market since 2017. According to data from the Nigerian Exchange Limited, the country recorded a net foreign inflow of 12.29 billion naira into its stock market in 2022, in contrast to a net outflow of 24.74 billion naira the previous year. However, data analysis revealed that the foreign investors had to reinvest their dividends and sales proceeds into securities due to their inability to obtain dollars to repatriate their funds. It's time for the Nigerian stock market report. At the end of today's trading session on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the benchmark All-Share Index moved up 330.85 basis points to close at 54,646.38 points. The current market capitalization of a Nigerian stock exchange is 29.8 trillion naira. In the aggregate, 107 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 28 gainers and 10 losers. MRS Oil Nigeria led the gainers with 9.88% share price appreciation, closing at 27 naira 80 kobo per share, followed by Macne Coals with a positive 9.09% and Boa Foods a positive 8.87%. On the losing side, the initiates came at last with an end-of-day price depreciation of 9.09% at 40 kobo per share, followed by Nemeth International Pharma with a negative 6.45% and Consolidated Hallmark Insurance with a negative 6.15%. United Bank for Africa recorded the highest volume of 32.4 million traded shares. This is all on business news. I'm back to Xavier Robert for the rest of the news.
Many thanks, Blyden. Now, still to come in the news. A hacker upsets Rublev, seals semi-final spot in Doha. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying tuned. Now in health, United Nations agency says one woman dies every 2 minutes during pregnancy or childbirth. This according to reports severe bleeding, high blood pressure, pregnancy-related infections, complications from unsafe abortion, and underlying conditions that can be aggravated by pregnancy such as HIV/AIDS and malaria are the leading causes of maternal deaths. The Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, says while pregnancy should be a time of immense hope and a positive experience for all women, it is tragically still a dangerous experience for millions around the world who lack access to high-quality, respectful health care. Ghebreyesus added that there is urgent need to ensure every woman and girl has access to critical health services before, during and after childbirth, as well as fully exercise their reproductive rights. Still in health, Professor Rotimi Olusanya of the Department of Biochemistry, University of Ilorin, has cautioned Nigerians against the practice of concurrent intake of drugs with alcohol. Olusanya gave the warning while delivering a paper at the 228th inaugural lecture of the university entitled Modulating the Mediators of Life Processes, the Strategic Place of Enzymes in Health and Wellness. He explained that antibiotics, medication, and alcohol could be a dangerous mix which might increase the risk of unsafe side effects. The biochemist, however, recommended the increased regular and general consumption of ewedu because of its potent blood sugar modulatory and immune boosting activities. The Don pointed out that Nigeria's common indigenous fresh vegetables, fruits and nuts were very rich in antioxidants, short peptides and micronutrients. According to him, studies have shown that they are good modulators of relevant enzymes with the potential to prevent and protect against diseases like diabetes, hypertension, and ulcer. In sports now, Jiri Leheke earned the biggest win of his career by Pepper's turn ATP ranking today at the Qatar ExxonMobil Open, where he upset world number 5 Andrei Rublev 4-6, 6-4, 6-3 to reach his second tier level semi-final. The 21-year-old Czech entered the clash off the back of straight set wins against Damir Dzumhur and Emil Ruusuvuori. He demonstrated his confidence levels in a heavy-hitting performance against the top seed. The Czech will aim to advance to his first tier level final when he faces former world number 1 Andy Murray or French qualifier Alexander Muller on Friday. Meanwhile, Leheke, who is up 8 spots to number 44 in the Pepperstone ATP live rankings, reached the semi-finals in Rotterdam last year. Still in sports, Charlotte Hornets wing Miles Bridges hopes to return to the NBA next month, having not played all season while under an NBA investigation. Recall that the 24-year-old was arrested in June for felony domestic violence and in November pleaded no contest to the charge. He was sentenced to 3 years of probation and no jail time. Bridges was accused of assaulting his then-girlfriend in front of their 2 children. The 2 other charges were dismissed, but he has remained under NBA investigation with the threat of disciplinary action. Bridges averaged career highs of 20.2 points, 7.0 rebounds, and 3.8 assists in the 2021-2022 season before the arrest, coming just days before he entered restricted free agency. Ajax interim manager John Heitinga has described Super Eagles defender Calvin Bassey as a top professional. Bassey joined Ajax in the summer in a record deal worth €23 million transfer and became the 3rd most expensive signing for the club. He has now lost his place in the team following a dip in form and Ajax's poor performances, which led to the sack of Alfred Schroeder. Schroeder was replaced by John Heitinga on an interim basis until the end of the season. The 23-year-old has started just once in 6 games under John Heitinga. In entertainment news, Nigerian superstar rapper Falz and multi-talented hitmaker Tekno have teamed up for a new conscious record released to motivate Nigerians to exercise their franchise and vote right in the 2023 elections. In the song, Falz addresses issues currently plaguing the country, from fuel scarcity to no cash and alleged police brutality, amongst others. This is reportedly the 2nd time Falz would be working with Tekno, as they had previously worked on a song together while they were ambassadors for a telco brand. Still on entertainment, David Bowie fans will get an unprecedented look into his life, work and legacy after the V&A Museum acquired the rock star's archive. The collection includes more than 80,000 letters, lyrics, photos, stage designs, music awards and costumes. It also features several instruments owned by the musician, including the stylophone he played on his breakout 1969 single Space Oddity. The archive will go on display in 2025 in a newly created East London venue. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 9. My name is Xavier Robert, wishing you a terrific night rest. Bye-bye for now.
The countdown is on as Nigeria decides who becomes its next president. The 2023 elections is upon us and the stage is set. At Spectrum TV, we have just one job: to keep you professionally and effectively informed round the clock as Nigeria decides. Spectrum TV Nigeria Decides Studio opens Friday, 24th February, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and on the D-Day, Saturday, 25th February, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. as well as on Sunday, 26th February, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Join the conversation on our phone lines on 0704 541 7707 090 222 31011 and 0813 775 8639, as well as on all our social media platforms. Spectrum TV Nigeria Decides Studio. As always, join the conversation and watch us